Last War fans, Dirk Diggler here, and you
on you or truth. Quickly grab some and then get out of there before points. You guys just grab some debris and make it 50. You're going to fight adversaries for resources, and you're trying to hold on to your valuables for as long as you can to accumulate points. But what actually happens in the meteorite war? Now, what's going to occur is that on a predetermined time, a meteorite is going to strike a war zone and turn a huge area into contaminated land that'll be split into two areas, the low yield area and the high yield area. In the low yield area, this is going to be the wider part of the radius that makes up the battle zone. That's going to be signified by a yellow tint when you see it on the map. In this area, you can have a shield, so people can't attack your base directly, but you'll only be able to get debris in that area, and we'll talk about what that is in just a moment. In the high yield area, you can't have a shield, and it will be destroyed the moment that you enter the area. You will get a warning from the game when this happens, but you'll be able to collect debris, crystals, and stellar cores in this zone. But what are those three? So debris are a particular type of material that you can grab. For this, while you're grabbing it, while you're retrieving it with your squad, you're going to get 40 points per second, and you're going to get a bonus 300 points upon completion. Another way to also grab points is simply by being in the contaminated land. You're also going to accrue 40 points per second just for being around. Now, for the crystals work a little bit differently. The crystals and the cores share the same type of mechanics. For the crystals, you're going to get 80 points per second while you're in the middle of gathering it. Then, once you complete the gathering, you're going to get 1,500 bonus points on top of that. And lastly, while you're holding the crystal in your base, you're going to get an additional 30 points per second while that's in your base. Cores work the same way, whereas you get quite a bit more points while you're gathering. You're going to get twice as many as the crystal while you're gathering. You're going to get 160, but you're going to get 6,000 points upon completing gathering a crystal, and then you're going to get 4 times as much for holding a crystal that you do with a stellar core. You're going to get 120 points per second while you're holding a stellar core in your base. These two crystals and cores, if you're very, very strong, you want to try and grab some cores. If you're kind of medium strong, but definitely a reasonable hitter, you're going to want to try and accumulate as many crystals as you can. This is how you're going to get big points in both of these. Now, through this game, you're going to have 2 rounds that you're going to play in. Basically, you're just going to have a round 1 and a round 2. They're going to be about 12 hours apart, where the first round will come, for me, I'm on the East Coast, and it falls about 10 minutes after reset on Friday. The second round comes around 12 hours after that at about 10 a.m. on Saturday for East Coast. It'll give you the start time in your local time as well as your server time, so don't feel stressed about making sure that you're around for it. But both rounds are going to take 30 minutes to complete, and the rankings that you have for both alliances and your individual ranking will be dependent upon your best score from either round. So if you do a really, really good job in one round or in the first round, and you don't really want to play the second round, you don't have to. If you miss the first round and you do really well in the second round, don't worry, you're not missing out by not getting points in the first round. It's the best score between the two that determines your ranking. Now, lastly, for section 1, what do you get? So down at the bottom here, these are all point benchmarks that determine what kind of loot that you get. What do you get for each of these? You're going to get a certain amount of honor points and amount of loot as well. You're going to get a bunch of resources, some drone stuff, as well as some hero specific stuff. And if you can get all of your boxes, that's going to give you 20,000 honor points on top of it, which is very nice. For your individual rankings and your alliance rankings, you do get rewards based off of where your alliance falls. Again, that's going to depend on the total that you accumulate for a particular round. So usually for my time zone, I expect that the time right after reset is probably going to be the one where we'll have the best performance. For the individuals, you'll get ranked per round as well, and you'll get the rewards that are reflected here. Pretty nice. They're not too crazy, not too wild. Most of the stuff that you're going to get that's going to be particularly impressive is going to be from your individual boxes down here. Before we go on, I quickly want to take a moment to say that if you're enjoying the video, if you're finding it helpful, feel free to like the video and drop a comment down below, even if it's simply, thanks for the video, because all of the engagement does help the channel grow. If you're new, feel free to subscribe, as I've got a bunch of tutorials, guides, and explanations on gameplay mechanics, heroes, and strategies to succeed in the game. Lastly, I want to mention that I do have channel memberships available, so if you really want to support the channel, you can get a cool flare next to your name in the comments, member shoutouts at the end of videos, as well as being able to join in on some live stream recordings for battles and events. Hit the join button down below to check it out, but with that, let's get back to it. Alrighty, moving along into Section 2, the pre-war. So before the Meteorite War even starts, here are some strategies that you can use to give yourself a good starting position. First up is going to be forming a non-aggression pact with people from your server. So take advantage of the fact that you'll have some allies out there on the battlefield. And remember that people from your server are going to have a white base on the map. Alliance mates will appear as blue, and any enemy servers, which will be everybody else, is going to appear as red. My recommendation is to basically come to an agreement with people from your server, not to bump each other off crystals or attack people's bases directly, with the understanding that if a crystal falls from the sky and multiple people are heading towards the same crystal at the same time, that there'll likely be a few mistakes that'll happen, but not to take them personally. The more people that you can have around you that won't attack your base directly and steal your crystals, the better off that you're going to be. Like, not having people who agree not to compete with you is leagues better than being surrounded by a bunch of enemies who at any moment could try to jump on you and steal your crystals or your cores. Second tip is going to be to grab extra advanced teleporters. You're going to want the ability to move around in the mud just in case someone tries to teleport next to you and jump in and steal all of your stuff. So, you can jump into your Alliance store, and there's an advanced teleporter that you can grab for here for really cheap. Additionally, over in the VIP store, there's 3 more teleporters that you can grab for a reduced price. And then lastly, here in the Diamond Shop, the regular one, you can grab as many extra teleporters as you need, up to an unlimited amount. Probably not that many, maybe just like 5 is enough. But you can grab any extra teleporters that you need over here, just to make sure that you have some. You likely won't need them all, but keep in mind, and this is really important, that teleporting out of the mud will make you lose all of your stored crystals in your base. So you really, really don't want to use your Alliance or random teleports unless you have to. I'll say that one more time because it's really important. If you accidentally use a random teleporter, the game will warn you of what will happen, but likely because you're under attack, you're going to panic and hit buttons and do whatever. So don't use a random teleporter because you're going to lose all the crystals that you sought to save. Instead, click around the map, use one of your advanced teleporters, and hightail it out of there. Now, moving along to tip number 3, is that you want to decide what's most important, defense or troops. Now, if you want to keep your defenses up to hold on to your crystals, then leave your troops on the wall. For myself, I like to have my 2 strongest teams up as they're both decently powerful. The way that you do this is you click on your wall, and you click on the little house here, and you can view what teams that you have on your defense lineup. I like to keep my first 2 teams, my squad 1 and my squad 2, up on the wall. I don't include my squad 3 simply because it's not that strong, and the power that they offer when all 3 teams are on defense is not really that.